Discussion time, episode 72, response to Deride and Mock, real life Dexter. What would you say to a real life version of Dexter who goes around killing people who are bad? Is it the job of the police only? Now, I was always meant to check out Dexter. I had it downloaded, but I never watched it. But my sister watched it and she said she loved it. So I might check it out at some point. But in terms of the police being the only ones that deal with it, I think that they're going to have a hard time like keeping tabs on it and working it out. So I think that it should be a like community effort to track someone down like that, if like eyewitnesses and things like that, because let's face it, the police aren't just patrolling all the time, and they aren't just waiting because something's happened. Like a lot of the time they wait until something bad's happened for them to even act on it, and that isn't the way the police should act, but that's just the way it is. And so I do think should be like a community effort, not just the police to deal with it, because obviously eyewitnesses and that are going to be in certain locations and that when the police aren't going to be there. So I think it should be a community effort. Should we support and allow a vigilante? Is it right for the vigilante to assume his or her morals are superior? I don't think it's necessarily wrong. It's a difficult one. As I said, I think it's going to take a community effort. Like, it's difficult because if the vigilante potentially loses his life trying to stop this killer or whatever, then the family's going to get involved as a court case and all that's going to happen, and that's all come from a vigilante trying to protect other people that he didn't have to like step in and try and prevent that. So I think we should show support, but obviously a vigilante shouldn't be going there on his own. I feel it should be a group of you at least. You've got more chance of dealing with it that way if there's more than one of you attacking or tackling this person. It's right for the vigilante to assume that. I don't think it's wrong for them to assume their morals are superior, especially if they're looking at people like criticising them of that they think they're superior. They could argue that, well, no one else stepped in, so you can feel how you feel, but I was the one that acted and took action. What if the vigilante decides a tougher consequence than the law and the police would give? I'm not really sure. What if the vigilante decides a tougher consequence? Then that's another case as well. Like, the vigilante might take it upon themselves to fucking kill that killer, and then you could argue he's doing it for the benefit of other people, but he's still taking another person's life, so it's kind of hypocritical. So that's a bit of a shaky ground to play with. So can we be certain the vigilante did her due diligence before taking justice into their own hands? Yeah, I mean, unless you see it, you can't. Like, it's the case of not guilty till proven different, or innocent till proven guilty, or whatever the saying is. You can't criticize or go at someone if you haven't witnessed it and you don't actually know what happened. So you got to be careful with that also. If the vigilante killed someone that the police law would have put in jail, but it turned out the person was innocent, then the person would have spent time in prison unfairly but still have his or her life. I don't really know if that's a question or not. Obviously, time's been wasted if they've got locked up for it, but if that happens all the time, even outside of cases like this where people are locked up for years, decades, and then they're found not guilty, and it's a shame, and it should never be happening. And I question what the police force and that are doing, and the court systems, because people shouldn't be getting locked up with no proof, and that's what it is. So I just realised that's part of a bigger question. So you said the vigilante killed someone that the police law would have put in jail, but it turned out the person was innocent. Then the person would have spent time in prison unfairly, but still have his or her life. Whereas a vigilante would have killed an innocent person. Would that be an acceptable loss, especially if the vigilante got the right person 99 times out of 100? These are some hard questions to write. Fucking hell. Obviously, you can't make sure everything goes to plan all the time. Nothing does. And there's always going to be fuck-ups and whatnot. So it's very difficult to be sure that that person is the killer unless you've seen them doing it. Or let's say this isn't the killer they're looking for, but they see someone else kill someone. They're immediately going to assume that is the killer. But it could be a case of just that is a different killer there, and that's the first time they've took someone's life, but it's not the one that everyone else is looking for. So you've got to be really careful with the proof you use and what you see with your own eyes, and not rush into things. So that's about it. I hope I answered this right. Some of these were very difficult to get my head around and read, because the way I've got it set out on here is paragraphs, so it's not all spread out. Maybe I should start doing that just to read it a bit better next time. But hope I answered your question all right. Very good questions. It's one of the hardest ones I've had, I feel. That's it now, guys, for the comments in terms of discussion time. So hit me with some more, and I'll get straight back on it. You don't want to fuck with the real ones.